Ya, jadi mungkin seperti yang saya jelaskan di awal ya, Salesforce itu sebenarnya mungkin banyak orang mendengar Salesforce itu sebagai brand atau produk gitu ya. Tapi sebenarnya Salesforce is a company, an ecosystem, a business platform gitu ya, di mana consists of multiple portfolio atau solution gitu ya. Mungkin yang jadi area of fokus kita hari ini adalah service, which is related to case management on and contact center gitu ya. Dan sebenarnya portfolio kita yang paling banyak di market adalah sales, service, and marketing. Tapi on top of that, sebenarnya Salesforce juga punya tools lain yang nggak kalah powerfulnya gitu ya, baik itu native dibuild oleh Salesforce sendiri atau hasil produk akuisisi gitu ya. Contohnya adalah commerce. Commerce ini mungkin kita bisa bilang adalah sebuah portal gitu ya, di mana biasanya kita targetkan retailer untuk mereka bisa melakukan pembelanjaan gitu ya lewat portal yang sudah dibuild oleh Salesforce. Nah, tadi juga saya sempat mention soal MuleSoft, lalu ada Slack, dan mungkin pertanyaan Pak Andi terakhir adalah soal Tableau gitu ya.
Ya.
Nah, jadi mungkin di internal Salesforce sendiri juga kita sebenarnya awal-awal kita mengakuisisi Tableau, banyak pertanyaan juga gitu ya, karena Salesforce sendiri sudah mempunyai apa namanya in-house build analytic tools yang kita namakan Einstein Analytic gitu ya. Tapi tentunya along the way dari sisi company juga berusaha untuk memberi batasan gitu lah ya. Kapan kita harus memposisikan Einstein Analytic tersebut dan kapan kita harus memposisikan Tableau gitu. Satu alasan yang mungkin clear adalah depends on source of data di mana kita ingin crunch data tersebut gitu ya. Apakah data yang ingin kita analyze solely berasal dari CRM tools-nya aja, atau mungkin banyak data yang kita olah berasal dari external sources atau external application gitu. Jadi based on that information kita harusnya tahu akan memposisikan solusi yang mana gitu. Tapi tidak jarang juga kalau sebenarnya kita memposisikan both our sales atau service gitu ya together dengan Tableau gitu, karena disitulah dimana nanti biasanya manajemen easily can view helicopter view gitu ya, matrix-matrix yang mereka mau lihat setiap harinya gitu ya. Karena kan sebenarnya Tableau data visualization ya, dimana kita bisa lihat summary gitu ya atau analytics in a much more beautiful way gitu ya.
Ya. Jadi sebenarnya di balik Tableau ini ada data analitiknya ya, Pak ya.
Yes, betul Pak.
Oke.
Dan selain yang apa namanya native-nya Tableau sendiri, tentunya kita juga apa redevelop Tableau itu sendiri dengan apa namanya inject teknologi Salesforce juga lah di dalamnya gitu.
Baik, baik, baik. Mungkin Bapak mau jelasin apa sih keunggulan data analitik daripada Salesforce ini yang bisa ditampilkan di Tableau nantinya?
Keunggulan data analitik ya. Jadi sebenarnya itu bukan ranah saya, kalau saya boleh
Oke,
jujur.
baik. Oke.
Tapi kita tahu Salesforce sendiri juga kan apa namanya sebelum ada keputusan akuisisi tentu ada due diligence, ada research gitu ya. Kita juga company juga tidak mau mungkin melakukan akuisisi produk-produk yang masih jauh left behind di market, dan mungkin preferensinya adalah produk yang sudah mature, sudah menjadi market leader gitu ya.
Ya,
Tapi bukan berarti Tableau ini tanpa kompetisi gitu ya. Jadi ketika kita mencoba envision gitu ya, ketika kita datang ke customer, biasanya kita tidak datang dengan konsep point solution gitu. Dalam artian, oh pain points kita ada di ticketing doang nih gitu ya. Tidak, kita biasanya oke untuk that kind of problem kita mungkin bisa solve dengan Service Cloud, tapi kita akan bikinkan roadmap-nya misalnya 3 tahun ke depan, apa 5 tahun ke depan gitu ya. Ketika Service Cloud sudah up and running, sudah diadopsi secara baik gitu ya, what's
ya,
next gitu ya? Apa yang bisa kita combine dengan Service Cloud? Mungkin nextnya kita combine dengan Tableau atau Sales Cloud atau Marketing Cloud, supaya journey dari employee sendiri atau customer sendiri itu lebih connected gitu ya. Dan tentunya ini menjadi preferensi customer kalau every business process itu bisa dilakukan di platform yang sama instead of silo gitu ya. Untuk
Hmm.
sales kita pakai produk X, service pakai produk Y, analytic produk Z gitu ya. At the end of the day, mungkin akan ada demand dari manajemen. Kenapa saya mau melihat data ini mesti login ke sini, melihat data ini mesti login ke sini. Why can I have a single view of everything just apa namanya from a single screen gitu ya. Nah, jadi itu sih sebenarnya yang mau kita achieve dan mendiferensiasi kita terhadap baik itu data analitik yang lain atau mungkin tools contact center yang lain. Kami.
Baik, Pak Yudis. I think HL want to share about the demo, but before demo, I think if any question from the participant, go ahead. While HL prepare the some screen or demo about the Salesforce.
Yeah, HL, you ready to present?
Yep, I'm ready, but let's just
Okay,
see
go ahead. Go
whether
ahead.
there are any questions. If not, I can present.
Yeah,
Okay, hang on now. Let me just find my screen. Okay. Okay, I believe you all can see my screen, yeah?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the Salesforce platform itself. And in specific, right now, I'm in the Service Cloud for the contact center use case. But coming back to just now what we talked about, Salesforce as a platform, we support multiple applications. So you can see that you can build many applications here all on the same platform, for example, like your sales management processes as well. And this is something that you will see again later during my demo. So as a service agent itself, the dashboard and the view is easily accessible, and you can also easily see the different cases that you have. So if I just use an example here, I go into one of the cases that a customer have, immediately I can start to be able to see all the customer detail information and also the cases and then the case information that came from the customer. For example, what is the subject and what is the description that they're asking. Okay, and the case number, where the case origin is, so on and so forth. And you can see that there are multiple steps here that I can also see, where are they in the case today? Are they in the stage one sort of thing? Like, is it still new or is it working? So on and so forth. All right. So now coming back to this particular thing here is that this is what we see from a case perspective, but we can also go in to see what this customer is to us as a company. So now when I take a look at Sandy itself, I can see the different information of Sandy, and I can see the different interactions that I have with Sandy before. So with a traditional legacy CRM or with just a normal database, these are not information that you will easily be able to find because these will all be in different systems. Whereas from a Salesforce point of view, all of this is easily and immediately brought into the agent. And if let's say you're a B2B customer and you know that this particular customer works for a particular company, you can also go in to see the company information here. And this is more from a company perspective, not so much about an individual person. Same thing, you can see the interactions that have happened with all of the company employees. And note that this is not just on a customer case perspective. Let's say you have the sales cloud or marketing cloud information. This can all be brought inside here. And this is where the difference here lies, right? From a service point, you can immediately see all the cases that this particular customer have with you. But from a sales perspective, that's where I will be talking about having the same platform. You can see the different opportunities or the different sales that have been occurring within this particular client as well. So that's the difference of having all of this information built under the same platform here. Okay, but when we come back to the original case itself here, you can see that easily you can see the relevant information. But if you need assistance from a case two perspective, what Yudis was talking about from a next best action perspective, you can immediately use this to continue to assist your customers. So these are contextual based on current information as well. You can send out surveys as well to gather feedback from your customers. And this is the knowledge article feature that we were talking about. If a particular client you have a question is that something that the knowledge will be able to help to address? For example, if this is talking about, what does your service contract cover? I can easily look at the product warranty and policy detailed knowledge articles so that I can better help the customer. And note that these are recommended via our AI features as well, via the Einstein recommendation tools. So this is all contextual based on the information that your customer is looking for. And of course, what I'm talking about is just one generic case here, right? But of course, with the power of omni-channel, you can do it across email, you can do it across a website, you can do it across a chat, a phone conversation, so on and so forth. So that's where you're then also able to receive all of this information from your customer and still have the same single pane of view to assist with your customer here. Okay, so take a short moment here. Any questions, Pak Andi? Is this clear? Is there anything else you want me to explore on this page first?
Is it mean that when they receive email,
Mm.
is go through the case, or how we filter the email?
Yeah, so when I have an email, so when agents set themselves to an available status and log in, all the emails that come in will come into this inbox that the customer of the particular agent. And then this will also be doing by remember the queue-based routing that I mentioned. Let's say you have 10 agents and you have 50 emails that are coming in, it will be automatically routed to each of these agents so that they will see the individual assignments that is given to them.
I see. But the working for the email will be one by one, or can they select?
So you can set the capacity of the agents. So for example, if you set that each agent can respond to 5 email cases at the same time, you can see that I can have multiple different cases ongoing at the same time, because email is a channel that is, in a way, is not super real time. So an
Okay.
agent is able to, reply to a customer. For example, Miss Sandy here, I can reply to Miss Sandy here. I can also reply to Mr. Chris Lee here at the same time. There is no stopping me from handling multiple cases at the same time. And this is what we actually recommend, about 2 to maximum of 4 cases per agent at any time, because any more than that, they might be a little bit confused about the different customers' cases that they are working on. So
Okay.
for chat and
Yeah.
email, we can do about 2 to 4. But if the particular agent also handles voice, generally voice will be a 1:1 relationship, because voice is very real time.
I see. So
Yeah.
is it mean that they can combine at the same time handling chatting, email, and social
Yes.
media as well?
Yeah, correct. So it depends on the availability that you set to the agent, so that you can set them to be able to respond to both chat, both email, to both phone, all at the same time. That's something that you can set up within the tool itself.
I see. And how the quality assurance make sure that the respond to chatting and email in proper way?
Okay, so we do have, from a supervisor perspective, we do have what we call like an Omni Supervisor dashboard. So this allows the supervisor to actually look at the various metrics of the agents that they have in their contact center. For example, the different statuses, how many cases are they working on at the same time, what is their workload, their capacity, etc. And if needed, I don't think this is actually within my demo itself, but they can actually go into the customer. Let's say I am chatting with you, Pak Andi, as a customer service agent. As a supervisor, I can go in to view the chat that is ongoing between the agent and, let's say, you, Pak Andi, and provide support, what we call like a whisper function,
I
to
see.
the agent at the same time. But of
Ya,
course, the agent can also raise a hand to request for assistance from your supervisor as well.
I
aku mungkin
see.
nambahin sedikit Pak Andi dalam hal quality assurance gitu ya. Mungkin kalau kita apa namanya jauh lebih dalam lagi, kita juga pernah bekerja sama dengan beberapa institusi di mana proses QA mereka adalah mengambil random sampling gitu ya.
Ya.
Pak Adi, mungkin dalam hal chat atau membalas email. Lalu kita bantu buatkan scorecard-nya. Tentu dalam scorecard ini kan ada beberapa matriks yang mesti dinilai oleh ada ininya lah ya, apa assessor-nya gitu ya. Apakah si agent ini sudah mengikuti SOP dalam hal memberikan greetings gitu ya terhadap customer, atau jawaban yang diberikan relevan terhadap pertanyaan yang masuk gitu ya, dan berbagai macam SOP lainnya yang mesti apa namanya dicek lah dalam quality assurance-nya gitu. Itu juga sesuatu hal yang bisa kita lakukan di Service Cloud ini, tapi membutuhkan extra effort gitu ya untuk melakukan konfigurasinya, tapi tetap lies within the Service Cloud application, Pak Andi, untuk QA-nya itu sendiri. Gitu.
Baik, Pak. Apakah memungkinkan menggunakan AI-nya untuk menganalisa itu?
Selama menggunakan bahasa Indonesia kita masih belum kayaknya, unless memang conversation yang terjadi di contact center
Inggris
itu
ya.
entirely
Oke.
English, full English, the answer is yes.
Baik, Pak. Okay, there is question from participant here, Pak Hari Pajri. You want to speak directly to HL atau saya bacakan pertanyaannya? Oke, Pak Hari mau berbicara? Oke. Ah, ya, kayaknya beliau tidak ini.
Ya,
Ah,
tadi saya sudah baca sih.
Oke, silakan Pak, Pak Yudis.
Secara pendek jawabannya adalah ya, kita punya pengalaman bekerja sama dengan public sector yang mungkin secara branch tidak bisa saya mention gitu ya. Jadi institusi seperti government airlines gitu ya, atau government logistic company gitu, kita adalah existing customer kita. Modifikasi terhadap CRM ini ya tentunya jadi that's the beauty of Salesforce ya Pak Hari ya. Kita tidak ada template tertentu atau apa namanya meyakinkan customer kalau mereka harus mengikuti template Salesforce. Jadi any kind of business mempunyai unique business process masing-masing. Jadi itulah yang akan kita coba sejauh mungkin follow gitu ya. Contohnya antara airlines dengan logistik, dengan banking, dengan retail, tentunya mempunyai bisnis proses yang berbeda-beda, dan Salesforce akan mencoba follow uh, apa sih desired proses yang diinginkan oleh masing-masing customer tersebut gitu. Jadi jawabannya in short yes and yes.
Baik, Pak. Another question, is it able to on-premise or this is should be on cloud?
Ya, ada unfortunately dan fortunately. Unfortunately, ini adalah fully cloud, fully soft as a service. Jadi kita tidak ada version on-premise. Tapi fortunately, tahun ini cloud kita sudah berada di Indonesia. Sorry tadi Pak siapa? Pak Iqbal. Jadi per Agustus tahun ini, Salesforce sudah mempunyai data center tersendiri di Indonesia. Tentunya keputusan investasi tersebut berdasarkan feasibility study lah, seberapa besar sih demand di Indonesia sehingga Salesforce harus invest di data center gitu ya. Nah, tentunya demand ini kan datang dari public sector, telco, financial sector gitu ya. Jadi jawabannya adalah kita tidak punya on-premise, tapi cloud kita berada di Indonesia. Jadi harusnya ini bisa
Secure ya, Pak.
ya.
Cukup secure ya, Pak.
Kenapa Pak?
Cukup secure ya.
Ya, jadi kita sebenarnya hosting aplikasi kita di Indonesia itu di atas infrastrukturnya AWS, Pak Andi, AWS.
Oke, baik,
Jadi
Pak.
kalau ingin tahu seperti apa standar security-nya, standar security AWS gitu. Which is sudah top tier gitu ya, bisa dibilang.
Baik, Pak. Uh, HL, can you move forward regarding how to identify the performance of the agent?
Okay, so
You
when
have
we
the
talk
steering.
about the performance of an agent,
Yeah.
we can easily look at them via two perspectives. Okay, so we can look at from a service supervisor or a management perspective. I
Yeah.
can look the general FCR, the SLA compliance, escalation rate, number of cases, etc., or AHT of an overall perspective across all the different agents. Okay. I can also look at if I want to just filter it to, I only want to filter it to only looking at the email compliance across the different agents that I have. Or in this case, I can also segmentize it by a per agent perspective I want to look at the performance of, let's say, my team service agent just on email itself. Or maybe, yeah. Okay. So this is how we can see from a management perspective. But of course, from an individual KPI perspective, a lot of our customers, they do have set KPIs for the service agents itself. So we also have pre-built reports and dashboards templates so that as a service agent, I can immediately come in to see the number of cases that I have, the different cases by types, the priorities that I have, so on and so forth. And just want to elaborate and reiterate, this comes as a sort of like we have pre-built template for the dashboards and reports, but customers, including the service agents themselves, can easily configure this to actually suit their own requirements based on the individual KPIs that the customer is actually looking to track.
So they can customize this based on the what is the requirement of them, yeah.
Yes, correct.
I see. This is part of the Tableau or this is just Salesforce?
This is just the normal Salesforce reports and dashboards. This
Okay.
is already part of the standard licenses that customers will get when they subscribe to our Service Cloud platform.
In case of customer want to combine the report from the contact center and report from, let's say, recording in some cases they have a record. So how they can combine into this one?
So I don't have that demo set up here, but
Yeah.
to your question is yes, we do have tools and capabilities that can help to combine the information from other systems as well into with the same set of data that Salesforce holds as well. So
Yeah.
that's part of what we actually have, like a service intelligence tool that can
Yeah.
actually help to monitor and track this. And in some extreme cases where they might want to do very advanced analytics, that's where Tableau can also come in to bring in Salesforce data and external set of data to provide a much better visualization to the company.
I see. Okay. Any other features that you want to explain in advance to
Yep.
participants?
Let me just briefly share on this. So one of the other key ways of using a platform like Salesforce is you can see, for example, I can see the timeline of a customer
Okay.
from the perspective of
Understand?
the different interactions that I've done.
Okay.
One thing I also didn't share about was the use of case escalation here. So if you think about it, escalating to tier 1, escalating to tier 2, to another group of users, that's all can be done within the platform itself. Any approvals or reassignments can also be done within the platform. So you don't have to send an email to wait for someone to approve. You can just send the approval from Salesforce itself, and the other person will actually do the response directly within Salesforce as well. So all the information is captured directly inside the Salesforce interface. And yeah, sorry.
Oh,
Yes,
go ahead. Go ahead. Go
okay,
ahead.
yeah. So just now when we talk about the different channels that we support, so you will be able to see all the different interactions if it exists. So maybe I will just come to one which there is a chat conversation, and you can also see the chat conversations that comes through. Sorry, I think it's not this one. I think will be this. So
Close.
we also support integration with like Facebook and WhatsApp as well. So you are able to see the exact interaction that have happened with the customer itself. So for example, in this case, I can take a look at the messaging conversation that has happened between the customer and the agent beforehand. So all of this is all captured within the Salesforce interface. So you don't have to capture this in another platform or to bring in all of this information. And you can then also do your analytics around all of this information. So the idea from Salesforce perspective, and of course, potentially you might need something like Tableau, is whatever that is in Salesforce, we allow you to do the reporting on it, because that's the power of having the platform on this single view. And
Okay.
lastly, briefly to talk about, maybe two more things. The entitlement, the SLA, let's say you have a 24 hours response time, 6-hour response time, those can all be configured within the platform as well. And just lastly, to talk briefly about, I think back to what Pak Yudis was talking about, collaboration with other team members if necessary. We
Yeah,
also support case swarming via Slack.
I
So
see.
that becomes a very powerful way to get immediate response and access to your tier one agents
Yeah,
without needing to wait a long time for emails, for them to actually settle it via email, etc.
I see. It
Yeah.
seems that quite complicated in terms of the user interface,
Mm.
but how long it takes for user to train to master of using this application?
Okay, so in most cases, contact center teams, I think we will recommend about 1 to 2 weeks worth of training.
Okay,
But I would say that because the user interface is quite intuitive, a lot
yeah,
of agents, they do know how to use the platform very quickly.
I
And
see.
on top of having the normal training that our partners may actually provide, we do have our own learning management platform. It is called Trailhead. So Trailhead also comes with a lot of modules that is bite-sized, just 15 minutes, 20 minutes of your time, where you can actually learn how to actually use the platform from a maybe slightly more advanced perspective so that they can actually learn on their own, not necessarily just on the use case that was designed for them, but maybe even for a slightly different use case so that they can then bring it forward back to management to say, maybe this is something else that we can look to support in the future.
I see.
Ya,
And
Yes,
ya,
you did.
ya, menanggapi tadi apa namanya pernyataan Pak Adi ya mungkin secara UI agak agak busy gitu Pak ya agak terlihat sangat full atau kompleks tapi ini sebenarnya adalah standar demo environmentnya Salesforce di mana mungkin masih banyak field-field yang sifatnya ya default demo gitu tapi again ini adalah sifatnya configurable. Kalau dari sisi bisnis customer merasa tidak dibutuhkan, field yang ada di standar environment-nya Salesforce itu can easily be take out Pak Andi gitu. Untuk apa terlihat UI-nya jauh lebih slick, clean and clear gitu ya.
I see, Pak. Okay, another question here, Pak, about the knowledge management, because I think this is also powerful for Salesforce. Do you use interactive or to helping agent answer the question? How knowledge management work for Salesforce?
Yep. So our knowledge management is actually KCS, I think V6 verified, which means we have worked closely with uh the institutions itself to make sure that our knowledge is a knowledge center service style, which means it's actually embedded into the flow of work to assist with our agents. So just now as an example, if the customer sends a particular email or a message that is relevant, and our Einstein, our AI, is in the background looking at the information about the case, they can then recommend the suggested articles that is relevant for this particular customer. And you can easily also embed the article into the email where you can then send this article directly to the customer to say, oh, this is actually going to be relevant to you and helpful to you. So you can use this to actually look at the information. And that is from a agent assist perspective. We also are able to expose these knowledge articles to customers. So what a lot of customers do is that instead of just having a contact us page, they have a help center, and the help center have the commonly asked questions. All the FAQ is there, so that when they type in the question that they are asking, the case article, the knowledge article, can be easily pushed and provided to the customer to see so that they can do self-service without needing to create a case.
I see.
Yeah. So that's just some of the ways that knowledge is embedded into the flow of work for our agents here.
Yeah, in some cases, contact center use chat,
Mm,
uh, chat to help agent. Uh,
correct.
Chat generative AI, yeah, to help agent. What
Yeah.
do you think about that?
So I think generative AI is very powerful, right? Because it has the ability to provide a very natural language process, sort of like answer without the need to train it too much, because we have seen how ChatGPT and LLM has done it, right? But I think as part of that, we also know that a huge challenge is in terms of like hallucination and going off topic. Because just because your chatbot is able to reply to something, but generally, when you ask a totally different question, it actually will also answer, because the large language model itself that was used to train it covers not just your products or your services, it covers across everything. So at least the way that Salesforce is going down the path to embed generative AI onto bots itself, we are taking it slowly, step by step. We do have visions where potentially it might be fully autonomous, but for now, we are making sure that there is a hand in the loop, there's a human in the loop to verify the contents that will be sent out via the generative AI itself before it is going out to the customer. So that is to prevent and to double check on all of this hallucination or wrong information that might be added into the chat conversation itself. But there is definitely a strong push and strong vision for us to embed more generative AI features to assist the agents and to provide even better self-service for our customers.